Okay, so I think I'm actually gonna make more content about this because it's so interesting for so many reasons. Like I'm kind of sad that I've learned about Mona Leo so late in like the I don't know. I guess other people have known about Mona Leo, but I think because I wasn't a part of her scene, like it's really hard. Like when you're in a different state, like you don't hear who the current up and coming rappers are. That's why it's important for people to travel. Anyway, I fell in love with her when I heard Beating Down Your Block. Like when I heard that song, I was like, I stan her. So I also posted in the description box, but I did a read along. Anyway, she just released a new project. It's called Where the Flowers Don't Die. And I'm just going to give this so much time. Actually, I think I might just spend a couple of my creative hours making content about this. Because I want to show you guys what it means to like support an artist, to be a fan, especially like she's like an up and coming artist. I mean, she like has notoriety and fame, but like I want her to have more. Like anyway, and I support her. I just appreciate her story so much. So I'm just gonna go song by song. The album's only 29 minutes, so you should definitely listen. Hold on, sorry. This is like I'm hot. Also, as you guys know, I'm wearing my Abercrombie sweater. I hope that there were some things she said I related to it, but also I really liked it. So let's talk about the first song, Sober Mind. It's basically like this rap sketch where she's like, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I'm trying, but not hard enough. Destruction is calling, and you keep ringing. That's a really interesting quote. And she's like, when your back is against the wall, you keep swinging. If you've got a microphone, you need to keep singing. I think, here's the thing. I think Billie Eilish also talks about this a lot, but some people get crippled by their problems because they believe that there's no way out. That's never the case. But sometimes, like, the way out is like the front door, and that can be really difficult to understand. Like, a lot of the times the problems that you have are caused by other people. Like, other people are actually the source of your problem. As soon as you get rid of the other person, all of a sudden the problem goes away. Like, a lot of people's problems are tied to money, but they wouldn't have that problem if they just earned their own money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can earn your own money, and then all of a sudden you get to decide what you do with your money. Like, nobody else can tell you, like, oh, you know, do this or be that when you are paying your own bills. That's like literally what it means to be an adult. Okay, so then she talks about, like, if you have a microphone, keep singing. Let's unpack that quote for a second. What she's basically saying here is that, like some people don't actually have the opportunity to write and to, like, tell a story, to sing a song. Some people don't have the words. If you really think about the artists that have inspired you the most, what is it about them that makes their story so inspiring? Like, whatever it is, that's their story, and you like it for whatever reason. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but the truth is that was only one aspect of their life. I think it's kind of funny how people like to romanticize Mariah Carey and her, like, fantasy shit, when in reality, like, her story is kind of brutal. Like, Corinne does a whole unpacking of, like, Mariah Carey's story, which is very hard. Her mom was like a wannabe singer, or maybe she was like a backup singer or something, and I think she was in foster care for a while. Like, she had this pretty awful biracial experience. Like, I think her father had left, or just a ton of shit. And then even a lot of her early relationships, like, she's got a whole movie, wasn't it called Butterfly or something? Maybe the stuff that's happening now, right after her children with Nick Cannon, and she's more like discontent with being a diva. But getting to that point was kind of hard, and maybe you should know the backstory. Anyway, so then she says, how do you expect to move forward when you keep looking back? Facts. And then she says a slow boogie is better than no boogie. I agree with that too. Sometimes people feel like the baby steps don't matter. Like, you take a baby step in the right direction and other people don't give you credit. They start comparing it to someone else. Oh, well, she has more. Oh, well, he has more. Well, you know what? You took that baby step. That's the thing I learned in therapy. Like, my first 7 therapy sessions, I couldn't even talk. I just sat there. For 7 hours, I just sat in front of a therapist.
Can't be smoking on the patio.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're totally.
Yeah, for 7 sessions, I didn't even know that, I couldn't talk. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that I couldn't, there was no words. There was no, like, I wasn't in a place where I could, like, actually say stuff yet. Okay, so then she says, like, take a plane or take the bus. But either way, you're going. It's like a slow ride. I think this is like that idea that, like, life is like a marathon, not a sprint. It's not, like, really about who gets there first, who gets there loudest, who screams the loudest. Like, none of that matters. Like, however you get there, if you take the bus, if you take a plane, it's great. Anyway, so let's go to the next song. It's called Beating Down Your Block. I did a read-along of the song. I like it so much. Some of my favorite quotes. Bitches tried to hold me back when I was up in school. Okay, the reason that I want to talk about this is because, like, for some reason, there's this idea that, like, there can only be one black girl, right? Only one black girl is going to make it. We got to look at the one black girl who made it, and then we're all supposed to be her, or aspire to be her, or we're supposed to even care about her. And, like, Sabrina Claudio talks about this in the song Homegirl, but, like, who gives a shit about what another woman is doing? Like, be serious. Like, if you are eating a sandwich, obviously I can't eat your sandwich, right? Like, you have to eat your sandwich, I have to eat my sandwich. It's a whole other thing. It's like that with all resources, including men, but also women too. Like, all y'all keep coming with the same awful stories of, like, men or women, and I just wonder, like, why wouldn't you just, like, leave those people alone? Like, if you don't like someone, that's great. Like, they don't have to be a part of your story, but realize that, like, they have a life too, and, like, their life is worth living. Like, someone actually brought them to term for 9 months. Some woman carried them in their womb. It was okay. It wasn't your mother. It wasn't my mother either. But, like, someone did. Someone cared. That's the reason why I had to make Abortion Bar, because I feel like some of y'all just don't understand. Like, not everybody got carried to term. Like, a lot of people were aborted. That's a thing. Like, there's life and then there's death. Like, people are dying right now. They're not, like, kind of dying. Like Jamie Foxx. He's really dying. Tina Turner is really dead. Like, you see how these people, they lived a life. They did shit. Some of the shit we liked. Some of it we didn't like. The fact is, we're all gonna die. So what you want to do with your life, you need to do it. Go now. Go now. Go now. Anyway, then she says, I ain't holding no nigga down, so bitch, you better not go to jail. Now, I think this is it's just funny, because there's this big idea of, like, the ride or die chick. All the black chicks are supposed to be, like, down. Like, niggas can just do whatever they want. They can shoot people, kill people, rape, pillage, sock, domestic violence, all type of crazy shit. They can be jobless, homeless, familyless, moralless, everything. And everybody's supposed to accept it. And I feel like this is just a really good example of Mona Leo taking a stand, and basically, I have notes here, so I'm, like, literally reading off of the notes. She's taking a stand, and she's saying, like, no, I'm not going to deal with it. I don't want to tolerate this. Then she says, I watched a couple hoes switch up on me. I hate I seen that. I think this is a good point, because, like, everybody's just under this impression that, like, first of all, baddies are together or something, or, like, everybody has all these wonderful friends. And let's be serious, like, most women aren't worth shit. Most men aren't worth shit. Like, a lot of people out in the world right now are not worth shit. And especially in the black community, they've just never been valued by anybody. And so this assumption that even though they've lived their own lives being valueless, like, nobody has valued them, they don't value themselves, all of a sudden, out of the fucking blue, they're gonna value you? That doesn't even make any sense. Okay, then she says, we toss niggas around and we treat them like they're beanbags. That might be my favorite quote from the whole song. A lot of these dudes are making these songs where they're like, ooh, I smashed her and I smashed her. because they're playing into purity politics. So what they're trying to say is like, ooh, I get to be one of her bodies, right? And so this is a girl who maybe has like 5 bodies, so he got to be one of them, and now they feel like they've got these like tokens of smasherism. I had sex on Tuesday, woo! And then they're like making a little rap songs. I smashed her and her and her, right? And then we're all supposed to sit here and be like, yay! And the reality is, like, women like Mona Leo, like me, everybody's got shit to do, goals to accomplish. Like, nobody has time to, like, deal with niggas. Like, Kehlani had a whole song. It's called Niggas. Like, right? And so what she's saying is that, like, I just fuck these niggas and then I leave. And not all of them. Like, whoever she chose to be on her roster, those are the men that she is actively using. And then, like, what do you do with a beanbag? You sit on it and then you leave. That's it. They really think they have, like, some pride. Like, they literally are writing on those songs that they're making are not pride songs. They should not feel empowered. Like, I don't understand why these men are feeling that empowered. Okay? Like, even if you take all of them that have made these awful songs about whatever, like, don't get me wrong, because that's the one thing that I have learned from, like, more sex workers speaking out. Like, on one hand, there's, like, this idea that, like, men don't value sex and that men have no feelings. And then, like, I think it's very clear that for women it isn't the same way. Women have quite a lot of feelings about sex and who they choose to have it with and all of the things, right? But the reality is a lot of men have just dehumanized themselves, right? So when they're walking around basically saying, like, oh, yeah, you know, and no one has, these girls don't have any value. I don't care about them. They're worth nothing. They're worthless. Oh, all she was a vagina. The reality is that woman brought him quite a lot, even during the sex. It was warmth. It was physical touch. It was intimacy to her literal body parts. Like, that is a lot. But those men are so desensitized and inhumane that they can't even vocalize what they actually experienced, whether they paid for it, whether they tricked someone into giving it to them. The fact is they stole the warmth of some woman and they received that. That's why, like, that's why they call it, like, sex work, as in, like, it's a literal commodity being traded for money. Brothels are real. Anyway, and then she says, like, ain't no pressure about no nigga, tell his ass to fall in line. So basically she's saying, I'm not gonna sit over here sweating about him, thinking about him, all of these things, right? Because I have other shit to do. So he needs to, like, get with the program or shut the fuck up and leave. That's what she's saying there. Okay, so the next song is called Ass Kickin'. This one is funny because, like, when she starts the song, it's just like the same line over and over again. I can't even remember what it was, but it's just like a line that she repeats over and over again. And here she starts. She's like, I can't trust a hoe. Okay, Mona Leo. Okay, this one's actually really funny. She says, so she's talking about oral sex here. So she's some dude that she's messing with. She's like, he keeps sucking after a nut. He's a slut, an overachiever. Oh my God. You should listen to this line for yourself, but it's so good. What she's basically saying is, like, so she's with this guy. He's, like, trying to make her happy. And he literally does make her happy. Like, she has an orgasm, but then he just keeps going, and she's calling him an overachiever. I think that's hilarious. It's the way that she says it is so funny. And then she says, back then, niggas didn't want me. I had to blow up, and now they do. I think that's a good point on, like, kind of, like, overlooking the value of women. Like, for some reason, as pretty as Mona Leo is, as wonderful, as talented as she is, there are men in her community who overlooked her for whatever reason. And then now they're all trying to, like, you know, be fans or be whatever, trying to be in relationships with her now. Like, I think the bigger question there is, like, why didn't these men value her then? Like, she's the same person. Like Mona Leo is Mona Leo. Like, whether she has a big rap song or not. You know, like, women are not just... That's what I mean. I think a lot of people do. They just devalue other humans so much, and they are unable to see individuals, like, with names and heartbeats and feelings, lived experiences, you know? Anyway. Okay, so the next song, she makes a song called Return of the P. This is funny. This first line, she says, if I bought it, you can't keep it. Bitch, it's alone. That's just funny as fuck. That's called staying in the bag. She's basically like, if I give you a penny, I want that penny back. But it's probably way more than a penny, but I'm just saying, like, nothing is for free, and that's true. And then she says, I can't trust a nigga with a chain, a haircut, and a phone. Wow, like, good point. That's a really good point, because, like, a lot of dudes who, so when they get a fresh haircut, they just feel like they look so good. That's why they always have, like, the wave caps and the, like, brushes and shit. And then if they have a chain, now they're trying to signify to the world, oh, I'm worth something with my gold chain, my diamonds. Oh, I'm the shit, and we're all supposed to bow. Fuck these niggas, right? And a phone, right? Because it feels like now that they've got the chain and the haircut, they want to, like, get out. And who are they putting this domination on? The problem, most of the time, it's like black women. They just are out to ruin black women's lives. They're like literal dogs on the prowl, just looking for prey, like animals out in the loose, trying to, like, ruin people. So they're out every day. Ooh, where can I find one? I'm just gonna go out, try to ruin somebody's life today. And then they do it. Anyway, so then she says, I kind of wish that you was saying less and doing more. That's a good point, right? Because a lot of people love to talk, just yap, especially men. They always talk, blah, 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 blah. All the podcast bros, blah, 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 saying this. When in reality, like, notice the difference between ABBA and Preach and then, like, the podcast bros. The podcast bros, all day, they're talking about real experiences that these women who come on the show have had in real life. ABBA and Preach are talking about real experiences that they personally have had in real life. See the difference there? Like, the podcast bros are talking about other women. ABBA and Preach are talking about themselves. Maybe you should think about talking about your fucking self. Worry about you. Like, stop talking to worry about what other people are doing. Oh, she did this. She didn't do that. Oh, she's got 70 bodies. Oh, she's got 0 bodies. Oh, she's got a mansion. Oh, he's got a car. This one's like, fuck everybody else. It doesn't matter what they're doing. What you should worry about is, like, where you are today, where you want to go tomorrow, how you're going to get there. Make your plan. Go execute. That's it. You only got 100 years. You got to go. You got to go now. She says, I like being played. That shit turned me up. That's a good point. Sometimes a lot of people think that there's, like, this sob story, you know, after somebody plays you. Oh, it's all bad now. Oh, I'm done. Oh, no. But then, in reality, like, you learn lessons when people play you. They play you, and then you become stronger. That's how that works. Then she says, bitch, you asking me, you should be asking him. This is a really good point that we could unpack in depth later, but, like, there's always this assumption that, like, let's say you're in a relationship with some dude, he's cheating, he's doing whatever, and then the girl, for some reason, thinks it's a good idea to go ask the other girl that he's cheating with, oh, what's going on? Oh, what's up? Oh, how? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, why are you asking another girl? Like, if the person that you're in a relationship with is the dude, you need to be talking to him. Like, he needs to be responsible and be accountable for, like, the fact that he is doing whatever that he's not supposed to do. If he made a commitment to you that he was going to be with you and then he's with some other woman, you need to be talking to him about why he broke his commitment. You don't even know the other woman. You don't have any commitment with the other woman, so it doesn't matter what she said. What matters is what he did. I thought that would be intuitive, but clearly it's not. Okay, and then there's a song called Goddess, and she's like, no way in hell a nigga made me. Only thing I know a nigga to do is drive a bad bitch crazy or a rich bitch lazy. Man, that is a quote. So basically what she's saying here is, like, bad bitches become bad bitches because they have routines, they've got habits that literally make them attractive, that make them great, right? You get confidence some kind of way. Either, like, you're just out, you're, like, very attractive, other people are attracted to you, and now they start to, like, give you compliments, give you physical things, take you places, like, whatever it is, like, some kind of way your confidence has been built. a lot of I think a major point though for women is that they need to build self-confidence, which like has nothing to do with external validation. Like you literally need to feel like you have value because you are alive. It is something that kind of takes a while to achieve. I feel like actually I spent my entire adolescence developing self-confidence, and then American society over and over through reinforcement learning taught me that I was worthless. Every single thing I did, it's like, as a child, I would wear a dress. I would have white mothers coming up to me and be like, wow, you're so pretty for a black girl. That's what they would say. Like, of all the words that they could choose, they weren't like, oh, I like the dress, the red is nice, like nothing. Every single thing was about me being black. Remember when I made that video about, like ballet, I like ballet. And then the white men started commenting, ballet is for white women. Ballet is a European dance form that's only for white women. That's what they said. It's just like, well, okay, so I can't do ballet, I can't wear a dress, maybe I can't wear braids, or these European too. It's just like every fucking thing. So, you know, sometimes, I don't know, as a black woman, you just have to learn that, like, the mother who birthed you gave you things by birth. Like, you have beauty by birth. You just do. And everyone in America hates it. You will just learn that over time. It takes years and years and years to develop this sort of, like, aptitude to deal with it. Because, like, outside everywhere, they tell you that you're, like, ugly. And it's just everywhere. Like, black men repeat it. Like, white women make jokes. Just the whole thing. Like, the Karen conference. What else do you think they were talking about? It's like the We Hate Black Women conference. And it was sponsored by Uber. That we can talk about that on a whole other day. But that's hilarious. But also very fitting. Like, the American flag should be replaced by the Uber Karen conference. Because in reality, I think that people are very ashamed that they're Karens. But they don't even understand that the entire culture here operates on, like, white Karen-ness. Like, if that was taken away, there would be nothing else. Like, there is no culture besides Karen-ness. That's all there is. It could be Barbie, but we'd have to be serious and realize that the prettiest women in the country aren't white. There's a couple that are nice, that are attractive, but, like, if we're talking about beauty and Barbies, you have to be serious. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the next song. It's called Goddess. She says, no way in hell a nigga made me. Only thing I know a nigga to do is drive a bad bitch crazy or a rich bitch lazy. Let's unpack that one for a second. Rich bitches get rich by, like, working and counting their dollars. Now, as soon as a nigga comes into the picture, typically he does some shit to kind of, like, rewire her work ethic away from the work and the money to be less, I don't know. It just becomes, like, not so much about the money. That's why you have all these women out here now talking about femininity, divine femininity, what it means to be womanness or something, house girlfriends. Like, be serious. Like, all you need to be a girl, a stay-at-home girlfriend, is a dude who pays the bills. That's not that innovative. Except here it is. We have to have whole community talks about it because, like, why? Because these niggas ain't shit. That's why we have to, like, literally make a video. Like, be serious. Like, it just doesn't, it's not that difficult for men to just go out and get a job and then pay the bill while the woman just stays at home and then gets sex from the same woman. Like, that concept is not, like, new in society. We have this, like, fucked up society right now because men just can't do that. Even that is, like, a stretch. That's just too much. Like, they have to go out and consume porn. They have to, like, steal from other women. They have to, like, do all of these things that aren't necessary. Like, it's not women that are out here, like, paying all this money into the porn industry. It's men. Be serious. Okay, so then she says, if God is a man, tell me why these niggas never want to make plans. Why these niggas never want to be friends. Facts. I can talk another day about, like, the U-Haul guy who legitimately, like, I think he was trying to, like, solicit me for sex as, like, I was, like, asking him to help me move for money, and I was like, oh, I can just ask my parents for money, and he's like, yeah, but your parents didn't give you the money, and he was like, oh, so give me ass, and I was like, are you joking, like, to help me move? And he was, like, serious, like, he kept prodding for it. It was so weird. It's like, wow, like y'all really hate women like so much. And I just hope to see the day where more women just like separate themselves from the bullshit. Because like if only you had an idea of what, like, I think if other women saw like black women as humans and they heard like the story, like the same men, like for instance, I think Kanye West is like a really good example here. Really, so many black men who go on the Drink podcast or whatever, listen to the way that they're talking about those women. Listen to what they're saying. That's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's girlfriend. That's somebody's wife. Do they give a shit? No. And then, like, Kanye West expects us all to have respect for Kim Kardashian after she's doing, like, sex tapes and all type of shit, coercing Ray J. Like, now we're all supposed to be respectful now? Like, make it make sense. That doesn't even make it easy. The logic chain is flawed. And I don't want to keep using Kim Kardashian. Let's use someone else. I don't know. And then we've got, like, Mia Khalifa on every podcast now. I mean, I think her experience is actually really useful. I mean, she's probably had the most sex that any of, like, she has more sexual experience than, like, probably all of us put together. So yeah, I think she should have her own podcast where she talks about all the things that she's learned, like all of the, you know, information that she's gotten, because she's gotten a lot. Okay, then she has a song called Misunderstood. This one was nice. It was like a slow jam. She's like, she's getting older. She needs someone to hold her. She's a really good girl. Enough strength to heal a hurt little girl. She's getting wiser. Sweet as a Skittle. I really like that part. Sweet as a Skittle. Just the fact that I've never heard anybody use that in a metaphor where, like, obviously Skittles are like really incredible candy, but I feel like also there's something about Skittles that are like such a Black American thing where, like, you never hear really anybody else just praising and understanding the goodness of Skittles, but Skittles are really yummy. Anyway, so then there's the Cologne song. This is a very good song. Like, I really hope that she puts out content for this song, like a music video, and that she gets some radio play for this song. It basically asks the question, like, what kind of cologne are you wearing? It smells so good, I like it. What kind of cologne are you wearing? Now, I think that we haven't normalized the fact that, like, some men actually have the money to spend on cologne, and so they have cologne, but, like, a lot of men don't, and they don't care how they smell, so they just smell, like, really bad. Like, they actually stink because they have poor hygiene, or they smell like weed because they, like, smoke all the time. Or, yeah, so men who wear cologne is, like, a thing. Maybe we should, like, normalize that a bit more. Okay, so the next song that she has is called Wig Splitter. This one is great. She's like a thug-ass gangsta bitch. This was actually a really quotable. She says, I can't call a nigga my boo after I climax, word to Usher. Okay, just, yes, Monoleo, yes. Okay, then she's got Ridgemont Baby. She says, I got this shit out the dirt, that's why there's mud on my shoes. So much to unpack there, especially in the video when that came out. I can't listen to you bitches' music. It's too phony. Facts. I feel the same way. A lot of, like, I don't listen to most of the rap girls. Pretty much none of them. Even, like, Sweetie. Like, there's, like, some songs that I think are quotable. But for the most part, like, I actually don't listen, like, to any of the girls. That's why I don't follow any of them. Like, I like following supermodels and, like, fashion girls because they, like, have the look. And, like, I'm here for the look. Like, right? I like fashion. Okay, then she says, you bitches grew up with family dogs in a 2-story. She's like, what do you know about boiling water just to take a bath? We were 4 deep in a 1-bedroom. Now, this is another thing I always try to make clear. Like, socioeconomic class is real. I'm not sure, but I feel like she grew up in public housing. And that is a very rough experience. It's basically not having a father in the house, and growing up in poverty is very hard. You can't buy any of the things that other people can buy. And then there's, like, all of this trauma that's being thrown on you. Like, having your own bedroom as a youth growing up is important. It's, like, really important because, like, you need your own space. Like, you need your own bed. You need to have, like, your own things. Like, 1 bedroom is made for 1 person. Unless you're in a serious relationship with someone else, and then you can share the bedroom. Otherwise, it's just for you. Like, you need to have things for you. Then she says no cable, so I had plenty of time to work on my craft. And then she says, I still can't name one thing a nigga gave me. It's very interesting to hear Mona Leo's take on this as she talks about how men have done nothing for her. Black men, I mean, y'all are really down bad. You've got this really beautiful, like, rapper, and she's talking about how there's not one thing a dude is giving her. A black dude isn't giving her anything. Nothing. Not even one thing. There was something else she said, and I think I missed this part, but she's like, you ask a dude for flowers, a rose, and then he brings you... Yeah, he says, tell a nigga you want a rose, and he comes with a daisy. Man, that is... We'll unpack that in a whole other video.